Visit us on the web at nilfisku.com. Nilfisk University is the cleaning equipment industry's most comprehensive web-based training and interactive learning resource. Your degree in success is just a click away at Nilfisk University. This lesson is brought to you by Nilfisk University, where excellence is attained through active learning. Welcome to the use and care lesson for the Clark Boost Walk-Behind Auto Scrubber. As you can guess from the title, we'll be covering how to use these machines and how to care for them. This course is not intended to replace the operator's manual that ships with the machine, but please read, understand, and follow all the safety, maintenance, and operating instructions in that manual. Doing so will ensure years of safe operation and optimum performance from the machine. Here are the outcomes of this lesson. After completing the course, the learner will be able to describe 3 items that should be inspected before operating the machine. Describe how to fill the machine with water and detergent. List the steps necessary to start the scrubbing function. Identify each item on the control panel and describe what it does. Describe how to change the detergent ratio when using onboard chemical. List 2 items to be inspected and cleaned before storing the machine. And list 3 maintenance items to be checked weekly. Before we can begin using the machine, it has to be prepared for you. So let's start from the very beginning of a typical day. First, we'll turn on the light in the room in which the machine is stored. The first thing you should see is the machine parked with the recovery tank open, the machine plugged to a standard 110 outlet, charging the batteries, and no pad or brush installed on the machine. This is how the machine should have been left after it was used last. The first step is to unplug the battery charger. The charger cord should be stored using the convenient cord wrap holder. During charging, the recovery tank should be left open for air circulation. Now the recovery tank can be lowered to its normal operating position. The next step is to inspect the brushes or pads. These should have been rinsed the last time the machine was used, so they should be relatively clean and free from any debris. Inspect the pads or brushes and determine if there's enough brush or pad life for the scrubbing that you're about to complete, and if not, replace the pads or brushes as needed. Also make sure you have the correct pad or brush type for the scrubbing that needs to be performed. Now install the pads or brushes on the machine. This machine features a fixed pad driver, so it's super easy to install the pad or brush. With the pad in hand, simply slide the pad or brush under the pad driver. Center it on the outside edge of the pad driver and lift up and press on the pad or brush. The grip face on the pad driver will hold it in place. Make sure the recovery tank is empty. Check the ball float cage and make sure it's clean and the ball moves freely. A clip on each side of the cage has to be opened to remove the ball float cage. Then inspect the rear blades to make sure that they're ready for use and aren't torn or nicked. The machine features a 4-sided squeegee blade that has 4 working edges, so the blade can be flipped end for end or flipped top to bottom to expose a fresh working edge, all without tools. If all 4 edges are damaged, a new squeegee blade is needed. Attach the squeegee to the machine with the 2 thumb nuts and attach the squeegee hose. Do not over-tighten the squeegee as it's designed to break away if it hits an object. Now we're ready to fill the machine with water. Hot or warm water cleans better, but the water temperature should not exceed 130 degrees Fahrenheit. If using the onboard detergent system, fill the machine with pure water only. Inspect the onboard detergent cartridge and verify that the correct detergent is in the cartridge and that there's enough detergent in the tank to complete the scrubbing task. If an onboard detergent dilution system is used, like a wall mount station, fill the machine from this device. If bulk detergent is to be mixed in the tank, fill the machine a third the way up, then add the detergent and fill the machine full. In all cases, fill the machine so that the solution level is an inch or 2 below the fill port. Before we get into the details of how to run the machine, let's take a moment to see all the switches on the control panel. I'll start in the upper left corner and move right to left. First is the true one-touch switch, which starts and stops scrubbing. Next is the vacuum on-off switch. Then there's the click brush switch. This switch is only active on Clark disc machines and is disabled on the Boost model. On the bottom row, we have the solution increase and decrease switches. The battery gauge is in the middle, and to the right of that is the onboard chemical dial knob used to select one of 4 preset detergent settings. And last but not least is the key switch. We're now ready to transport the machine to the area to be cleaned. Turn on the machine using the key. Verify that the machine has enough battery power to complete the scrubbing task by using the control panel battery gauge. The machine is controlled by 2 safety yellow palm switches located on the handlebar. You can dial in the correct speed for the job by simply turning the dial on the speed control potentiometer. The potentiometer sets the maximum speed for both forward and reverse. Set the potentiometer about halfway between the slowest and fastest speed. To get the machine to go in reverse, simply push the white button on the back side of the handlebar, followed by one of the yellow palm switches on the handlebar. To make the machine simple to use, it features true one-touch scrubbing. The press of a single button both starts and stops the scrubbing function. To start scrubbing, lower the deck to the floor using the foot pedal on the rear of the machine. Then, lower the rear squeegee to the floor. Now, press the true one-touch scrub button. This will enable all the systems for use and turn on the vacuum motor. Depressing the yellow safety switches will start the actual scrubbing function. The machine will move forward, water will begin to flow, and the brushes will begin to spin. To pause scrubbing, release the yellow safety switch and the machine, solution flow, and brush motor will all stop. To stop scrubbing, simply press the one-touch scrub button again. The motor will shut off after a 10-second delay. Now, lift the deck from the floor and raise the rear squeegee. The Boost features 2 scrubber pressure settings, regular and extreme. The regular setting is when the deck is in the free floating position. This is the setting used for most cleaning tasks and will give you the longest run time. Extreme scrub is enabled by moving the deck foot pedal up and into the lockdown position. This is for the heaviest soils and used for stripping. If the solution flow rate needs to be adjusted, it's simply a matter of pressing the solution flow rate increase switch or the flow rate decrease switch. There are 3 flow rates, low, medium, and high. Each setting uses 2 LEDs, so low is indicated by 2 LEDs, medium by 4 LEDs, and high will light all 6 LEDs. To turn solution off, simply press the solution flow rate decrease until all the LEDs are extinguished. One of the top features of this machine is its ability to have an onboard chemical mixing system. When looking at the control board, you'll see a turnstile knob that has 4 color options and a circle to the far left for off. This machine comes preset with 4 detergent settings that can be adjusted on the fly by simply turning this knob. The 4 preset settings are green, 250 to 1, or 40%. Blue, 133 to 1, or 75%. Yellow, 66 to 1, or 1.5%. And red, 33 to 1, or 2.5%. To locate the color chart and the chemical storage location for the chemical bottle, simply lift up the recovery tank. Being that the chemical bottle and chart are under the recovery tank, it's important that you write down or memorize the preset settings and make sure the chemical bottle is full before you start your job. The Focus Boost is super effective as a daily cleaning machine due to its random orbital scrub pattern. In addition to that, it's also very effective at removing or stripping off old floor finish using nothing but pure water. To strip a floor, you'll need a standard red pad and a maroon surface prep pad, or SPP. The red pad is placed on the machine just like you would for daily cleaning. The maroon pad is then sandwiched between the red pad and the floor and is simply held into place by the extreme pressure of the machine. Stripping the floor is really not much different than scrubbing the floor with a few exceptions. The best practice is to pre-wet the maroon pad using the machine's solution dump hose and then place it under the red pad. Now, turn the speed of the machine to its slowest speed. If you're using detergent, turn it off, and set the solution flow rate to the low flow setting. Always use the extra pressure setting when removing floor finish. Now start scrubbing and adjust the speed to a very slow walking pace. The slower the machine moves, the more aggressive the action will be on the floor. Aim for 60 to 100 feet per minute and adjust as needed to get the desired results. Eventually, the solution tank will run dry and the recovery tank will become full. As we learned earlier, the machine has a ball float valve that protects the vacuum motor from ingesting water. Once the ball float activates, the vacuum motor pitch will change to a higher pitch sound. When the recovery tank is full, transport the machine to a suitable location to empty it and refill the machine if required. After using the machine for a while, one of two things may happen. The battery becomes depleted and the machine must be recharged. When this happens, the battery gauge will indicate the batteries need to be recharged and all scrubbing functions will cease. The machine stops scrubbing when the battery pack has become depleted, but the transport function does not. This means you'll always have plenty of battery power to transport the machine to the area to empty the recovery tank and back to the charging station. The other thing that may occur is that the areas that need scrubbing are now scrubbed and clean, and the machine is ready to be put away until it's needed again. Just like we learned earlier about preparing the machine for scrubbing, we're now going to do the opposite procedure to prepare the machine for storage. The first thing to do is to empty the recovery tank and rinse it out thoroughly to remove any and all debris from the tank. While you're at it, rinse off the ball float cage and make sure it's cleaned off. Now you can rinse off the squeegee and inspect it to make sure the blades are not ripped or torn. If they need to be changed or replaced, do that now. We don't want to leave maintenance activities like replacing worn items for when starting a new day. Remove the brush or pad and rinse them off and remove any large debris that may be present. Inspect the pad or brush and see if the pads need to be changed or flipped over and check to see if the brushes need to be replaced. If they do, do that now also. Set them aside to dry. Lift up the recovery tank so that air circulation can occur. Then, unroll the power cord and plug the end into an outlet so that the batteries will be charged for the next person who needs to use it. It's also a good idea to take a wet rag and clean off the exterior of the machine. And remember to turn off the light when you leave the room. Besides the maintenance that's done on the machine on a daily basis, there's also maintenance required periodically. Weekly, one should check the water level of each battery cell and add distilled water as needed. The machine should not be charged if the plates are not under water. Before charging, inspect the cells and make sure none of the plates are exposed. If they are, then just add enough water to cover the plate, but do not fill the cell all the way until after the machine is fully charged. If the machine is fully charged, then add water so it touches the bottom of the fill tube in each cell. Do not fill the cell to the very top of the battery. Clean the solution filter. Clean the foam vacuum exhaust filter located on the underside of the vacuum motor under the recovery tank. And purge the onboard chemical mixing system with plain water. Monthly, the battery pack should be equalized. Equalizing the battery ensures each cell is at its maximum charge potential for maximum runtime. This is done by fully charging the machine and then unplugging it. After a minute or two, plug the machine back in to charge it again. Repeat this one or more times. After 1 year of use, the carbon brushes in the vacuum motor should be inspected for wear, and at the same time, inspect the carbon brushes on the scrub motor to see if they need to be replaced. Refer to the operator's manual or an authorized advanced service center on carbon brush replacement. This concludes this use and care lesson for the Clark Focus 2 Compact's Boost model. If you have successfully retained the information provided in this course, you'll be able to describe 3 items that should be inspected before operating the machine. Describe how to fill the machine with water and detergent. List the steps necessary to start the scrubbing function. Identify each item on the control panel and describe what it does. Describe how to change the detergent ratio when using onboard chemical. List 2 items to be inspected and cleaned before storing the machine. And list 3 maintenance items to be checked weekly.
Visit us on the web at nilfisku.com. Nilfisk University is the cleaning equipment industry's most comprehensive web-based training and interactive learning resource. Your degree in success is just a click away at Nilfisk University.